Thank you all for tuning in. The following is a presentation of Bald Spots Productions. Be sure to like, comment, and share. Subscribe, follow, whatever it is you've got to do to kick that algorithm into gear and help us reach more people.
This is I, your humble host, Bill Hatch, the third, coming to you live from the production home studios of Bald Spots Productions here in the beautiful city of Malden, Missouri. Joining me live from more than acceptable safe social distances are my guests for today, Amanda Dolin and Chad the Dad. Amanda, I know, is calling from Texas. Chad, where are you at?
Same state.
Same state.
Yeah. I think we're like 8 miles away from each other right now.
Okay. Well, Chad is a last-minute guest, so I definitely want to thank him for being on at the last possible moment. I of course appreciate Amanda being on, of course, but she pre-planned it, so it's her own fault now. Amanda is many things, but among which is a mental health advocate and coach, right? Mental health coach. And advocate. Okay, I got it right, just in the wrong order.
All of it. Yeah, well, same order. I mean, either way, it all works.
Yeah, and we'll promote your websites. And Chad, what do you do?
Yeah, I'm a youth pastor.
I already know, but I'm asking for the sake of you answering.
Oh yeah, I'm a youth pastor at Faith United Methodist Church here in Denton, Texas.
And a dad. Cool. And a dad. Hence, Chad the Dad.
Exactly.
To a super sweet little boy. I love him. I borrow him sometimes.
Cool. Very cool. Well, usually how I get us started is by asking the same exact question. Who are you reading right now? And we'll start with Amanda. I'll be sexist and say ladies first.
All right. Who am I reading for? Fun or for work?
Either way, whichever or both.
For work right now, I am rereading a book called Complex PTSD From Surviving to Thriving by Pete Walker. And for fun, I don't read as much as I listen to books. And that book that I'm listening to right now is by Anna Reyes. It's called The House in the Pines. It's kind of a mystery, supernatural sort of thing. I love, I listen to a lot of books, I think so far this year, I have listened to about 175 books.
Wow. That's a lot of books.
I listen to them in the car and while cleaning and while, doing all the other things. It's what I do. So I don't know. I pretend like it makes me smarter. I don't think it does. I just pretend.
It exposes you to a lot more thoughts.
Yeah. Yes.
Any key takeaways from either of those books?
The thing, the fun reading, no, but the one about PTSD is just a reminder that like all of us have experienced trauma and it looks different for all of us, and that sometimes it's okay to just not be okay.
Yeah.
Word.
That is
to ask for help.
Sometimes it is.
So, yeah, that's it. That's what I got for those two.
Okay, great. And Chad, how about you?
Yeah, I'm really into sci-fi, and so I always try to find a good science fiction book for fun. I just wrapped up a Jack McDevitt series that was really good, and I've started now with Pierce Brown, this Red Rising series. So it takes place on old Mars, intergalactic politics and all that kind of fun stuff. And so that's where my world is, and there's no really big takeaways outside of just dabbling in the universe, exploring the same human things that happen on Earth, just on a more grander scale. So, always a good read.
Okay. Yeah. Although with where Mars is concerned, a third of the size of Earth. So
true, and the gravity's a little less.
Not quite.
And yeah. little redder.
And is Mercury in retrograde longer on those other planets than here, or is that even a thing?
No, is
I don't know.
You know, Mr. Brown is not brought up into much retrograde things. So don't know, not sure.
Yeah, my friend told me that Venus left retrograde yesterday, and that's why something in my life is less hard. I don't know. I don't understand
I don't
any
know
of it.
what does retrograde mean? Like in my mind, I'm like it's who's grading these planets? You know, like, and how do they get critiqued?
And
What's
is
the
it like
sun
like
being the largest?
Right. Oh, it's the sun.
Yeah.
Okay, the sun that's up the grade retroactively, and so that's why it's a retrograde. Is that the idea?
That's right.
That must be it. Yeah, I don't know any of it. I just know that my best friend is like, oh, well, this explains this. And I'm like, yeah, whatever you say. I don't, sure. Because I don't know. I trust her. She'll tell me the truth, I think.
Okay. Well, retrograde means backwards, basically.
Oh.
And so Venus has a retrograde rotation. It goes, instead of the sun rising in the east and setting in the west like it does here, it rises in the west and sets in the east. So if you were so if you were actually on the surface of Venus, you'd be crushed into a small smoldering char.
Yeah. Sounds
Yeah,
right.
I'm glad I'm not
able to
there.
appreciate it at all. Yeah.
Pretty hot there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty hot there. It
pretty
makes
hot.
it makes the Midwest look like nothing.
Yes.
So
Or
it's Texas. It's Texas in the summer.
Texas finally
Okay.
cooled down. Yeah.
That's what Venus is.
Yeah.
Texas in the summer. I don't know. We had some up here in Missouri. We had some pretty hot days, hot and muggy. I do not appreciate them coming from Southern California, where it's hot and dry. And
Chad, you went to grad school in Southern California, right?
Yeah. I went to seminary in Claremont.
Oh, okay.
You know where that's at?
No, right where that is. Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah. I lived in Pomona and in Chino for a while.
Yeah. Oh man, I love
my
it.
last hangout in SoCal was in Santa Ana down in Orange County.
Yeah, so, man, those mountains are amazing. Those San Bernardinos, loved them.
Yep. Yeah, it's kind of cool when you can be in a place where you can go to the beach, the snow, and the desert all in the same day.
Yeah.
That is not Texas.
But yeah, the problem with Southern California is though that it's like $1,600 for a 1-bedroom apartment.
Yeah, if I stayed there, I'd have to live in a commune again, and I didn't feel like doing that. So,
so one of my favorite Chad stories. So, for those of you listening, I've known Chad for about 10 years, give or take a little. But Chad had chickens when he was in college, or had you left college? Was that college?
Right after I graduated, I kind of hung around, as you do when you try to figure out life.
And diapers. How did you diaper those chickens?
Yeah, so to domesticate the chickens and make them more indoor pets, we took Walmart bags and made like little diapers by taking the kind of loops and putting their legs through those and pulling them up and then tying at the top of the chicken, and thus creating a little chicken diaper where they can come inside and not make a mess and hang out with their family. They're a human family, so yeah.
That's interesting.
Oh yeah,
That is interesting.
Listen. This house didn't have central air heat. We didn't have TVs. It's real primitive. And so chicken TV was where it was at. So, and the more we could hang out with the chickens, the more we were entertained, and our quality of life improved once they got to come inside. We did feel a little bad though. In Missouri, if you have any chickens, Bill, they'll eat anything, and so to feed them, we'd feed them a lot of leftover food from the dinners, breakfasts like that. sometimes we feed them chicken as well, which is there a moral, is that an ethical dilemma?
I think there may be an ethical quandary there.
Yeah, I mean, are they carnivores? Does that make them carnivores if they're not aware of it?
Make some cannibals.
That's what I meant. Sorry. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, obviously carnivores.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Wow.
You shouldn't be feeding chickens chicken.
Yeah. I understand though that feeding chickens some of their like the extra eggs can be good for them. That like, but I don't know. I'm
further egging.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I don't know a whole lot about animal eating stuff. I haven't eaten.
I am intrigued because one of the excuses that I've had for giving Missouri the old college try is that I would like to have chicken so I can have fresh eggs for breakfast in the morning.
It's amazing. Nothing like it. But they're going to give you all you can handle. You're going to start giving away.
Yeah.
You'll eventually get tired of eggs.
I'm not thinking of getting that many chickens.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, only a few.
Yeah, I don't. I think I don't have no idea how many eggs chickens lay. I don't know much about chickens anymore.
One a day.
One a day. That's what I was under the impression of.
Yeah.
So yeah, like if you have 6 chickens, then you'd have to eat 6 eggs a day.
Right.
And that seems like a lot of eggs.
But yeah, we can have 4 birds in town. So yeah. So that would mean 2 eggs a day for me and 2 for my cousin and roommate Rudy. So
you need some more chicken facts. They have what's called a cloaca, which means that they pee, poop, and lay eggs out of the same hole. How fun is that?
Interesting. That is interesting.
I'm here all day if you need some more chicken facts.
Oh, yeah. Your chat is full of random, useless knowledge. That's why I keep him around. Or why,
as we've already seen by the knowledge of what retrograde means and how it might affect the planet Venus.
We're all learning, guys. This is a very educational podcast. I'm learning.
Yeah, I'm over here like I don't know any fun chicken facts. I don't. And now that I'm like trying to think of.
Your time's coming, Amanda. Don't worry. You're about to offer something to this group that will enlighten us.
Okay.
And make us better people.
Do you know why you knock on wood when you say something that you like either want or don't want to happen?
Yes, I know the boring reason anyway.
What's the boring reason?
Boring reason is because people used to believe that evil spirits lived in the wood.
Huh.
Oh, I see. I heard that it was people in Greece believed that the gods were listening, and so they knocked on wood to make noise so that they didn't hear.
Interesting. I had not heard that one.
So we're like soliciting to the gods, like we're kind of like the people going up on their doorstep and asking them, "Hey, we just buried some."
It's like don't hear what I'm saying, because if you hear it, then you'll either like it's usually the bad thing, like I hope I don't get in a car accident. Knock on wood. And so you're knocking on the wood so the god doesn't hear it to make it happen.
Oh, it has a dampening effect. I see. They can't hear.
So a similar reason, but a different group of people.
Yeah.
Or non-people, I guess, as it were.
So the same idea. Like we don't want the bad things to hear the things.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting to know.
There's got to be more fun, things like that.
Did you know that around the 1st century, Greek people, people in the Gentile world around the Mediterranean, were primarily interested in the things that the gods could do for them, so more than they were interested in things like eternal life and that kind of stuff. They wanted to see a show.
Mm-hmm.
I am currently in seminary, and
cool.
and learning all sorts of interesting things about the time of the first century. So
yeah, isn't context amazing?
It is. It is.
Which there is something that I remember sending to. Well, I sent this to Chad actually yesterday too. Well, and then I sent something else to my sister along the same lines. The first thing I sent my sister was, I can do all things through a Bible verse taken out of context.
Right.
Which is one of my favorite like little things. But then my sister sent me this, and it's been making its way around, I think, but it says 2,000 years from now, people will not understand the difference between butt dial and booty call. This is exactly why the Bible is hard to understand.
Yeah, I can believe that.
But think about like all the weird, things like colloquialisms and
the evolution
that don't make
of language.
sense even on the. But even here in the United States, something that makes sense in Boston doesn't make sense in LA.
Right.
I love language for that reason. Like I love the meaning of words and where they came from. And
do you think we'll have more accuracy though, as we're pondering the future 2,000 years from now? Do you think they'll have a better accuracy since we have technology like this?
See, that's what I was wondering is like if things are recorded and like recorded in a different way and with language, probably like the ability to learn it, even if it's past languages, would be easier, right? Because there's the digital.
Assuming we don't wipe ourselves out into a primitive state again, we'll have access to this, right?
Right.
When we're on Mars.
But I'm also like, we might just wipe ourselves out into a primitive state, Sometimes it feels like the world's a little on fire.
Yeah, we're making assumptions.
Yeah, we are. But isn't that what life is about sometimes? It's just assuming what might happen.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which assuming is fun because, can make an ass of you and me. So that is always how I've remembered to spell that word. That and like Wednesday. Does anyone else still spell Wednesday, Wednesday?
That was how I originally, learned the word. Yep.
I just don't do anything on Wednesday, so I don't ever have to worry about spelling it.
And then also like together, I still have to spell it to get her.
Yeah.
But I'm a terrible speller.
Years ago, I worked in a car dealership, and there was a get together event, but of course it was all squished together, so it was get her event. So it was not what they had wanted.
Spacing's important.
Spacing can be important.
And punctuation. Punctuation is important.
Punctuation is very important. Don't underestimate the importance of the Oxford comma.
Yeah.
The Oxford comma is the comma that you put before the and in a list.
Oh, okay.
And if you don't put that comma in there, then it can completely change the way that the sentence sounds.
Or
the sentence means.
Because you could do like, let's eat, comma, kids, and so it's like, hey, let's eat, kids. Or if you take that comma out, let's eat kids. Like, are we eating children?
Let's eat kids and neighbors. So let's eat kids and neighbors, or let's eat kids and neighbors.
I mean,
carnivore cannibals.
That's right.
We're no better than the chickens.
We are no better than the chickens.
No, I mean, I don't know. Sometimes, like, I think being a chicken could be fun. Just getting to like chill out and peck the ground life. And
yep, everything comes out one hole.
I also Yeah, I mean, no, but I
Yeah.
think
Sorry, what's the
like
rating
I
of this
was,
podcast? I didn't ask Bill. My bad.
It's whatever you want it to be.
but I was talking to someone, or well, texting, because like, do we talk much anymore? Really, it's just over text. But
I
about
know.
the we don't have the same growing up. We don't have the same technology, right? That there is now, and so like there's this ability now to hide my past, like right. There's no like digital footprint of like all the pictures from college or whatever, and how I kind of miss that, right? Like I miss that simpler, like there's not all the stuff. And then like I don't know about you all, but like when I was in high school, I was like, God, this is terrible, and I just want to be an adult. And now I'm an adult, and I'm like, man, I want to be young again. I want someone else to pay my bills and
Yeah.
do all the things. Really, I want to go back to kindergarten. I think that was like
Yeah, nap time.
prime.
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember fighting naps? And now I'm like, do I get a
Can't
nap
wait for
today? Yeah. It's a whole
them.
different world when you're an adult.
Yeah, if I had to go back to an age, if we had to go back to a time of I think college is prime. It's like you have the freedom of adultness without the responsibilities of it, and that felt pretty prime.
Yeah.
And
College
I
attempt
like
#1, I would have to say. Yeah.
I would say that was probably true for me, like my junior and maybe senior year of college. But
Hmm.
for me, like my dad was really sick my freshman year and then died my sophomore year of college. So like that wasn't a great time I want to go back to. But like by my junior year, it was pretty awesome. I was living off campus. My house, the house I lived in was like the party house. We always had people over. Um, it had a couch on the front porch. Um, there was a fabric couch, and it had been there for like I don't even know how long. It was probably 30 years old when it made it onto our porch. And I'm not sure why I ever sat on it. Like now looking back, I'm like, that was probably not like a smart place to sit. But yeah, like we had this huge backyard and we were about 3 blocks from campus. And so we always had the people over. It was great. We,
Living the dream.
our neighbor was our
Yeah.
neighbor was one of the college professors, and he liked to come over and drink with us. Like, so we weren't, we didn't get calls for being loud because he would come over and hang
You
out for
had
a
an end.
while. So yeah, it
Did
was kind of perfect. And
did you add that on your rate my professor? Did you put that as like a little like 5-star? This guy will drink with you.
I did not, he was not my professor because he was economics and I avoided all of the math, business, like all of that, not my jam. But my roommate, he was her like advisor during college. And I think she probably was just like, he is a really down to earth,
Wasn't
guy.
creeper. It wasn't creepery. It was more fun.
Yeah. No.
There's a line.
Well,
There's
and
a
this is
line.
the same department. There is. And this is the same department that at the end of the year, every year, students would go to a different professor's lake house. And they always had a keg for their end of the year, like economics department party
Okay.
Wait. So
with
Okay.
students.
the economists were like the party people at your school. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah. Yes.
Would never have guessed.
Wow. No. At Cal Poly, it was the English department
Okay.
at the time.
What about at A&M?
A&M. I mean, I've had to pick a major that was partying. Probably kinesiology because those are the athletes.
Not. Yeah. Oh well, I was thinking, at Tech, which is kind of the rival school, I guess. I was thinking the nursing department, like the nursing program there, because if
Mhm.
you think about it, Chad, like that's where both Kate and Carissa got their start in nursing was at the Tech Nursing School. These are kids, they're in their mid-20s now. I can't call them kids anymore, but known them for a long time, which is, just think about, they're growing up. Like Kate's getting married on Sunday.
Yep.
One of these girls. I'm dating one of the guys that graduated high school with them's dad.
I'm glad you finished that.
Yep.
Starting to sound like your professors back at your school.
No, he is
kids.
old enough. Yeah, no. And, I've known, what's funny is like of Mikey, I guess I've known Mikey, his son, for 10 years or so. I think he started in 2013 in the youth group, and he came with friends. So I never met his parents. And then I matched with the man I'm dating, Michael, on Tinder. And it took like 3 dates. And all of a sudden I was like, is your son? And I made the mistake of texting him a picture of myself with his child when he was in high school, like 8, 9 years earlier. And I was like, is your son in this picture? And he was like, why are you in a picture with my child? This is a little creepy. I was like, wait, maybe I should give context. Like, yep. I was at the church.
We've learned it's important. Yeah.
Context is important, which still.
Context is important.
Chad is a youth pastor, and I worked with him in Bible study. And I don't think he actually remembers teaching this until I say it every time. But he's taught us KUA, which was CUA. So context. So when you're looking at the Bible, and I think really anything, but especially with a Bible or a book, like what happened before and after? Like what was the context of the whole story, not just the Bible verse. And then the you is understand. So understand what was going on at that time, that made sense. And then apply, which is how does it apply to today? Like, what does it mean in today's culture? And I like that. And I think that that's useful for really a whole lot of things in this world. Just in general.
It must always
context,
stated with a ninja chop.
Kua. Yeah, that's that you have to have the kua. You got to have the chop, or it doesn't count.
No chop, no kua. Take that to seminary with you, Bill.
There we go.
There.
I shall. Sure. I'm doing intro to missions right now, so loads of fun.
Chad loves mission trips.
Mission trips are amazing. Yeah, it's one of just a unique. Everyone is different. Every experience is different, and also amazing in its own way. I don't even know how to describe them.
That is the truth.
And the mission trips that our church typically goes on are we go and stay at other churches and then do projects in the community. Like building wheelchair ramps is kind of the jam of those kids. They go in, make sure kids.
Yeah. The Methodists have a corner on those wheelchair ramps.
They're amazing. But when I go, I take care of the kitchen and make sure people eat food. And if you're watching this on YouTube or wherever, I have a really pretty necklace on that covers my chest, but I have a really lovely scar from where I got a 3rd-degree burn from biscuits.
Oh, goodness.
1 year. And I'm pretty sure that I stayed and I made sure everyone ate, and then I made sure everything was cleaned up. And then I went to the store to make sure that they had all of the food that they needed. And then I went to urgent care. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's not a terrible. Well, I don't even know. See, you can't really see it right here, but it's there.
Careful, don't change our rating of this podcast, Amanda.
I won't. But yeah, but what's funny is you can't really see my tattoos, but I have a couple. And so some of our, the kids were like, you should turn that right across my chest you should get a dragon like that comes over your shoulder, and then the scar is the fire coming out of the dragon's mouth. And I'm like,
Okay.
I'm not really sure that I am the chest tattoo type.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not sure.
Or maybe you can be a
Yeah,
nod to how you got
that's a
the
tough
scar.
one.
Maybe it can be like a
Okay,
dragon
what?
holding. It can be like a nod to how you got
Holding
the scar.
biscuits.
Yeah, it's a dragon holding a tray of biscuits, and the scar is like the tray with the biscuits on. You know, you're welcome.
That is actually.
Or the dragon could be baking the biscuits with its fiery breath.
Oh, look at. Okay, so now maybe I have to do this.
Maybe it's a possibility.
Yeah.
I am sure, like, it was a young man named Corrigan who suggested this tattoo idea, and so maybe I'll reach out and have him help me design that, because I'm sure he would be super into it. Yeah, he would actually love the idea of it. I don't like the idea of a chest tattoo for me. I don't think I'm that person. I love chest tattoos on others, just not for me. I think that's my.
I don't have any tattoos, so there you go. They're not
Chet,
for everybody. I have no
Chet,
tattoos.
So I think don't worry. I think I have enough for all of us.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thanks.
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14. 14.
Okay.
Yeah. So yes. So if we divide them up, we each basically have 5. So that's good.
5 apiece.
Yeah.
It's a solid number.
That's a good solid number.
Yeah, like, it's, for me, tattoos though are such a way to like remember things.
Okay.
Or like they're an important like thing for me. So like my most recent tattoo is here on my shoulder. It's an iris with a little hummingbird coming into it.
Okay.
Because my grandmother, who she died in 2017, about 6 weeks after her 100th birthday.
Wow.
I always got her, actually, and I have one over here, but I have this little glass hummingbird, and I would always give her glass hummingbirds because she had hummingbird feeders everywhere. And then at the end of her driveway, she had hundreds of irises, like, just, so every time you went to her house, like, you pass these irises, and then she always had hummingbirds. So I got this little, now she would be rolling over in her grave knowing that I got a tattoo for her, because yeah, she would be horrified, but haha, Mama, I got a tattoo for you. So, but I love tattoos for those reasons, because like they're a way that I can carry someone with me, and a memory and a love. So forever. Sorry. Chad and I have clearly spent far too much time in the same, which, like, it's funny because, yeah, I still remember the first time I met Chad, because I'm not even sure if Chad totally remembers this day, but we had a new church building, and Chad had just started. I mean, you had been there a couple weeks maybe, and I was volunteering in the church office because there was no staff yet that was, running that piece. And so there was a group of volunteers, and I was like, I used to work with youth. I like youth stuff. So I just went back to Chad's office, which is not your office anymore, is it?
Same closet.
It is literally a closet. I mean, it's like, there's no windows. There's just like kind of a desk and a whole bunch of cabinets, and like, that's it. And it's small. And so I went back for like hey, nice to meet you. And I think about an hour and a half later, I left his office space, and a beautiful friendship and relationship was born.
It had me volunteer, so like a true salesman.
Yes. And now I have replaced myself times 4, because there are now 4 of the kids that I led in the youth group who are volunteering as leaders. So
yeah, pretty cool.
I think like I'm winning. You know,
multiply yourself. I appreciate it.
And it's interesting because like, and I think Chad knows some of this too right now, is I like helped all these kids like figure their, or not figure it all out, but like help them with their spiritual journey. And now I'm over here like struggling with my own faith, which I didn't think would happen at 44, but things change, and still believe in God. I just don't know what that looks like. And it's okay. And like to know it's okay is kind of awesome. It's like that it's, I'm okay to, it's okay to explore.
I've always thought of it that if you go to the gym and you don't struggle, then you won't get any exercise.
I like that.
And so, who wants to not struggle in their faith walk? Do you want weak faith? No, you want strong faith. So you're going to struggle a little bit.
And, it's interesting because I always have this devotional sort of thing that I've loved doing with kids, which it's from a Savage Garden song called Affirmation. And it's a whole list of I believes. Like, it's just, like one of them is I believe the grass is not always greener on the other side. I can't, like, I believe like friendship is worth more than money and gold, like sort of those sorts of things. And so I play it and I'm like, here, like, this is you. I want you to write an I believe statement. Like, it's not for me. I'm not going to read it. This is yours. Right. And one of the first times I did that in a different church space, I got essentially like, they no longer wanted me to be part of the leadership team of their youth group because we tell children what to think. We don't give them permission to think for themselves.
Wow.
And so you saying that, it's like, no, of course, like, because giving them that space to what do I believe makes that stronger because right? Yeah. Like you've thought it out.
Yeah.
All right. You got me thinking now. Not a bad thing.
Good
well,
job,
how
Bill.
does that relate to mental health? That's great.
I think mental health too is there's like, it's okay to struggle in that we all do. And we all have like mental health. And I like to point this out, like mental health is like physical health. Like we all have it. And sometimes like the mental, there's mental illness, just like there's physical illness, but mental health is something you've got to take care of every day. And that includes, everything from self-care to even exercise can help your mental health, friendships and relationships. But it's this whole idea that like, oh, I only need to take care of my mental health if I'm sick, right? Or if I have a mental illness. But that's just so not accurate, right? It's
right.
Because I think like how many of us have bad days that impact our mental well-being. And so when you take that time to like acknowledge that like there are those days that are hard, and we normalize it and we talk about it and have discussions, right? It's that like we get to, I don't know, it's that we get to question some of that with other people. And I think talking about it makes it feel normal, that like we're not the only ones going through stuff. Because I felt very alone for a long time with my mental health journey, struggles, mental illness. Because for me, it was the 6th psychiatrist that I saw 21 years after I saw my first psychiatrist that I finally got the diagnosis that, I don't know, the treatments worked for and, I believe was the right diagnosis. And see, that's the other thing about mental health and mental illness versus physical health is there's no blood test to check for bipolar.
Right.
But there's a blood test to check if you're diabetic.
Yep.
There's scans that you can do to see if you have cancer. But, mental health is all a guessing game and all being curious and trying on a whole lot of different things. So yeah, I guess it's that, you've got to have questions and you got to be curious to find out what's going on in your brain.
And it can be a difficult journey.
Oh yeah.
I know this from my own mental health journey, which after we're done with this, we'll continue to a little town called Portageville, where my psychiatrist is.
I one time I told somebody that like I wouldn't be alive if it weren't for my psychiatrist.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, "Oh, that's not true." And I was like, "No, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like mental illness is deadly if it's not
Mm-hmm.
treated, and that's why I think like we need to talk about it."
Yeah,
because
for people who are listening, they're like me. Like, what's the difference between a psychiatrist and a therapist?
Oh, so the very easy difference is a psychiatrist is a medical doctor that can prescribe medication. A therapist or a psychotherapist or a psychologist has a graduate degree and training in counseling, and it's more talk. Whereas a psychiatrist, not all, but a lot of psychiatrists, it's really medication and symptoms. Like there's not the talking through things. It's my psychiatrist is not like this, but there are a lot of psychiatrists that they have you in and out in 10, 15 minutes. It's like they have a checklist. Like, how are you feeling? Any side effects? Okay, go.
Gotcha.
It's and therapy is more of and not unlike the mental health coaching that I do. They're different, but there's a lot of overlap. But it's really like, how do you live well every day, and what are the things that are getting in the way of living your best life? And understanding how your mental health impacts all of the things, relationships, work, sleep, health. I mean, all of that. So, yeah. The short version is the difference is one can prescribe medication and the other can't.
Yep.
That's helpful.
And a psychologist knows more about psychology than a psychiatrist does, because that's all they've studied.
Right.
And but I was talking to a psychiatrist a few months ago, and she was like, psychiatrists actually have to know a whole lot about the body, because so many different things happening in the body can affect your mental health. Like if your thyroid is out of whack, it can actually like resemble depression. And so if you're treating depression but there's the thyroid thing going on, like you're not actually treating the problem, and there's going to be other stuff that goes on because of that. So it's just interesting that like they have to understand how much, like all the ways the brain works and the endocrine system a lot, because that's where our hormones and all that kind of live. And so like but I think that the opposite is not true. I think there's a lot of doctors that don't understand psychology,
right?
Even a little bit. And that's disappointing, because I feel like that is like your primary care practitioner, like they are the first line of defense. And people are often not truthful to their doctors.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to, like what is it to like doctors are like, whatever your patient says they're drinking, like add to the number. So like, oh, I just have 2 beers a day. Like, okay, like you have 4 at least. Because we don't want to be judged. And I think that there's still that stigma of like mental health. And Lord knows, like when I was diagnosed with bipolar, to be honest, like I flat out told the doctor, like, no, you are wrong. I have a master's in psychology. I don't have bipolar. Because in my brain, bipolar was that person that decides at 1:00 in the morning that they want to paint their entire house, and then for the next 36 hours they're just painting, or they fly to Vegas and spend a ton of money. And that's not what mine looked like. But my psychiatrist, the one I have now, he sat down with me with like all the diagnostic criteria, and step by step. And I was like, oh, yeah, okay. But I'd never been diagnosed with that before. It had always been depression or anxiety. And the treatments for that don't really work well if you're bipolar. They're kind of contraindicated, if you will. So
contraindicated. Yes, pull out those
the big
$12
words.
words.
Yeah, I have a few of them, not very many. But yeah, and I felt too like there was going to be a stigma of, well, she is bipolar, so she's really messed up in the head.
Mm.
I mean, I'm a little weird. It's okay, but like I'm not. There's nothing wrong with me, and it's and like medication is something that's going to be part of my life forever, probably, and I'm okay with that. And it frustrates me. I mean, since we're kind of like we've talked a little bit about God and spirituality, I've talked to several people who are like, man, if you just pray harder, like you'll be cured. And that's one of the things I'm struggling with my faith. But I will often tell them, like, what if like the cured thing is that God gave people the skills and the knowledge and the ability to create medications that keep me healthy?
Exactly.
Like, why does it have to be like why does it have to look like a miracle in the way we think miracles should look?
Why does it have to look like a lightning bolt out of the blue to count as a miracle? Because it doesn't.
Yep. That's what the movies teach us.
And that's yeah.
You do this, you flap your wings, and then the angels show up to help you play baseball. Like, that's what we're taught, that the angels are in the outfield helping you.
Yes.
Exactly. Man, now I need to watch that solid, like
Joseph Gordon-Levitt
that movie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Man. Now I'm over here like we had, yeah, and we just had the Sandlot moment as well. So now it's like, what other childhood movies do I need to go rewatch?
Of baseball.
There's so many great. Oh, and they've all been baseball movies too.
Yeah.
I guess if we build it, they will come.
Mm-hmm. Or, if you look, if we take a lesson from Rookie of the Year, right? Our brokenness can actually turn into a strength. When you break your arm, you can actually end up throwing about 100 miles an hour, thus playing for a Major League Baseball team at 9 years old. So there's a lot of lessons here in baseball movies that apply to mental health.
Yeah. Look at that.
You're welcome.
Chad can always connect sports with just about everything.
Yeah.
And real sports to boot.
The real ones, yes. You're not Quidditch. I can do Quidditch if you need it, but no, I don't need that. Look at the real sports.
I'm like, real sports. I've tried to think if I ever played a real sport in real, no. I'm not very athletic.
I played baseball when I was a kid.
Now, does being a football mom cheering in the stands, does that count as a sport?
Depends on how hard you cheer.
Yeah. I mean, I'm the mom that jumps up from my seat and yells and screams, but not the ref you suck, go, you can do it. And I, scream and yell excited.
Yeah, I think that qualifies
as a sport.
Yeah, there's exercise involved.
A few calories.
Mm-hmm.
If you're burning a few calories, I think it counts.
I go to the gym. I lift weights and stuff, but never been really I swim. I used to swim a lot, but I tried playing basketball. Chad, this is something that Chad and I also kind of have in common. I tried playing basketball in 7th grade. And we were doing suicides. We were running suicides, and I was touching the line, and my friend Claire Latta, who was just a little faster than I was coming up from the touching, and our heads collided, and I knocked my 2 front teeth not out of my mouth. I broke the bone, this upper jawbone, and I knocked them back. So they were still in my teeth or in my jawbone, but they were just back. So now my 4 front teeth are not actually mine. They're mine because I paid for them, but they're not I didn't grow them. I just paid for them.
You just paid for them.
So, but Chad, what
Yeah.
about your front tooth?
Yeah, same situation, head collision, and I was playing basketball, and I'm on the ground, I look in front of me, and I see like this white object, and it was so long. I was like, what the heck? And I like feel my tooth, and my entire whole front tooth had like popped out, like root and
Wow.
everything. I was like, what the heck? And so that was the whole thing. So now I got a fake tooth. Glows in the dark. Versus the one that doesn't. Anyways, we do like black light dodgeball at this one place, and everybody, I was like, I think your teeth light up, and the fake one doesn't. And so it's like, what's going on with your tooth? It ain't real.
Yes, it's so teeth. Teeth are weird. I don't know. I'm not a teeth. I don't love teeth, but we need them, I guess.
Yes.
Especially if we're gonna be carnivores.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. You gotta have those teeth.
You gotta have teeth to chew a carrot.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like carrots. I like the vegetables.
Just be thankful that the chickens don't have teeth. I mean, if they eat what they do, imagine what they could do to us if they had teeth. I think they'd become a predator.
Imagine how big they could get. Could you imagine like a human-sized chicken and how terrifying that would be?
I think we have those now. I think we have them that size with the hormones, right? That we inject them. Don't forget about human size, and then we get our good meat, our chicken nuggets.
Oh, I mean, we could have a whole discussion about like animal farming and what it does, but I don't want to like make people. I don't want to be that person that I'm
no.
Like. We're not going to have that discussion here, but
I almost grew upside.
Yep, I was so close. But we could talk about Chad's disdain for his food touching as a child.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and adult for the most part. Yeah, I mean,
do you need one of those trays that has the separate compartments for everything?
I love those trays. Yeah, those are made for me. Absolutely.
Wow. Have you ever been institutionalized?
Although,
I mean,
the story goes that because I was that kind of kid, my mom made a shepherd's pie, which it's a mixing of mashed potatoes and meats and veggies, and I saw that as a kid and refused my mother, and I said, no, I will not eat this dinner, Mother. And she said, no, you will. And a battle ensued that involved some spankings and 45-minute standoff. And eventually I tried a bite. And I said, Mom, this is delicious. Thank you for this great meal. And I've enjoyed shepherd's pie ever since. It's one of my favorite meals. So there's some exceptions to the rule of no touching.
Okay.
But now every time I either make or eat shepherd's pie, I send Chad a picture of it.
True.
For no good reason other than I'm like, look at shepherd's pie for you.
I think I told that story on a Sunday morning for sermons. I often use stories about my mom for sermons to the point where she will not attend whenever I preach on a Sunday morning.
Like when she moved without telling you?
Yeah. Oh, gonna be a surprise. And I went to my old house and nothing was there, including my family, and thought I'd been abandoned. I wasn't. They found me eventually because I couldn't drive and I was stuck there for a while. So they came back, found out where I was.
The shepherd's pie and the moving without telling him story, two of my favorite.
Yeah.
But Chad's mom is really an amazing woman. I love Mama J. And she's kind of a mom in a way to me. I've known her for about as long as I've known Chad. So Chad is like both a spiritual mentor to me and my annoying little brother.
I think we decided yesterday I was more of your spirit animal.
Oh, that's right. We did decide spirit animal
when we talked yesterday. Brother and a mentor mixed in one. So yeah.
That should be one. And is that animal a chicken?
Yeah, absolutely.
No, it's a seagull. Oh,
Oh, you're right. My last
It's a
name is
seagull.
Siegel. That would make more sense. That's a good one. You know,
But
I'm sorry where this is becoming a chicken podcast, but we we have a history of chickens at our church as well. Like every year, our students compete in outdoing one another in like good deeds, and they get points based on it. And we turn into a competition to kind of whatever. And one of the years, they get to pick their prize, what it's going to be. And their prize that year they picked, if the team won, was I would audition to be on American Idol. I don't have a singing talent. I have no talent of singing whatsoever. And so I was like, okay, what can I do to audition for American Idol without a singing talent? And so what I did, using chickens that were Amanda's neighbors, we spent a day out making a video of me hanging out with these chickens and telling a story about, growing up in Springtown, country town of Texas, which is all real. Having chickens, having experience. You hear my chicken facts, I've been around them. This isn't made up. And I essentially clucked in the to the tune of "My Heart Will Go On" by Celine Dion. That melody. And so I made a video of me doing all that with these, scenes of slow-mo chickens going that were Amanda's neighbors. And I sent that in to American Idol as my audition tape. And I never heard anything. I don't know why, but
why? It must have gotten lost in the mail or something.
Yeah, maybe they just don't have the same love as we do here in Texas for our chickens.
Yeah, they're those Hollywood.
So we have a rich history with these animals, and it's not just the horses here in Texas.
Or the cows. I think I did.
Yeah, you have a few cows.
I think it was in May of this year. The main road outside of my house was shut down because 2 cows got loose. And they were on the street, running down the street. And there were literally cowboys. There were men on horses with lassos trying to catch these cows. And I was like,
Texas.
This is Texas. And I don't live in a particularly rural area. This is, I'm in a neighborhood, there are houses near me. But no, the street was closed because of cows.
Bill, is there a stereotypical animal of Missouri?
Not that I've encountered as yet. I have seen cows and horses and chickens, rabbits and squirrels. I have yet to see a deer, but my brother tells me there's good hunting for such critters.
So you're kind of pretty landlocked. Didn't know what kind of, if you had a wombat, like a Missouri wombat, that was kind of a mascot around a lot of high schools or something.
No, the local high school, the mascot is the wave.
Like a
wave, like a water wave.
I don't know if they were really friendly. They're just like.
No. We are.
I thought they were doing the.
You know how you're fighting?
Not doing the wave. It's an actual water wave. That is what the picture is of. I don't know how it happened because we are completely landlocked. We do not have a nearby river of any appreciable size that it might have waves in it.
They just long for it. There's a yearning.
The closest lake is Lake Wapapello, and that's an hour and a half, 2 hours away.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
They're just it's That's what they yearn for. They yearn for the ocean, and they wanted to manifest it.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're manifesting.
Mm-hmm.
What was your high school mascot?
I was hoping that didn't get brought up. It was a porcupine.
Porcupine. Okay.
Hey, but you know what my college mascot was? It's a kangaroo.
Kangaroo. I watched some kangaroo fighting videos, and after having seen some of those, I'd be scared of a kangaroo. So.
Yeah, And my high school mascot. So I went to a private school that was an all-girls school, and then about the time I was in middle school, I think, like that was the first graduating class that had males in it. But the mascot was the Amazons, because like warrior women, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then like you can't have guys be Amazons, so then they were the Titans. So we were the Titans and the Amazons, which is kind of awesome, but also like weird. Like
the height of Xena, warrior princess.
I mean, I don't know. The school was founded in like I think 1912 or 1917 or something like that.
Well, that's
so
before the Xena time.
A little before Lucy Lawless, yeah.
But Lucy, I would say like Lucy Lawless, she's a pretty amazing,
pretty epic.
I'm a little afraid of her. Like
You should name the high school after her, just like the fighting Lucy Lawlesses.
There you go.
Yeah, I will. I'm gonna call the school up and say like, we need to change. Yep. Lucy Lawless, I want her picture on everything.
It's the only thing culturally appropriate we can do. There's no other option.
Yes.
It's the only thing.
No.
Yep.
Yes, exactly.
Because you wouldn't want to insult any Amazonians or any Titans that might be out there. But yeah, thinking about it, I don't think I've had, in all the colleges I've been to, in which I've attended classes, I can't say that I've had an oddball mascot. Well, no, that's not true. My first college was Austin Peay State University, and we were the governors.
Like gavel?
Which like the governor of a state. Right. Because that's what Austin Peay was. He was a previous governor of the state of Tennessee.
Okay, gotcha.
So yeah, I mean,
let's see. Governors, Broncos, Mounties. Yeah, but at least they did something. I've actually had a Mountie on the show before.
Yeah,
but
cool.
But let's see. It was Cerritos. I don't remember what Cerritos was. But Northwood was the Knights, I think. And then Regent is the Kings.
You were very royal and also chess. Like that's like you build a chessboard with all your.
Yes, exactly, yes. Yeah. I could populate a chessboard with the number of schools I've been to.
Yeah, mine were like I had the Amazons and then the Kangaroos and then the Pioneers.
Okay.
For grad school, yeah.
And now you're a fighting seminarian.
Chad was...
Right, Bill?
That's right. Now I'm a fighting seminarian. No, now I'm a regent.
Ah, a regent. Cool.
Yes, so a king. So
I like that, yeah. So you were, like I'm not very royal compared to you, Bill. And then Chad was
very country, porcupine, Aggie, fighting seminarian.
Yeah. I mean, what's an Aggie really?
Farmer.
Isn't it a type of marble?
No, I think it's a farmer. Like so, like you're the fighting farmers, really?
Yeah, all our chants are like farmers, farmers. Yeah, that's what they do all the time.
A&M. Those A&M people are passionate. Did you like how I said passionate instead of culty?
Yeah.
Well, when I was at Austin Peay, of course, the chant at games was "Let's go Peay."
Yep. Great.
Yeah.
It's stuff like that is so fun. But see, here's the thing: is like it goes kind of back to like grammar and that thing because that P is PEA.
PEAY.
PEAY. Okay, so
not a vegetable.
Not like
no.
No,
right, not a vegetable and not going to the bathroom. It's a whole.
It could work on so many levels. It could.
It does. It does.
I'm curious, do people come dressed as peas? Like, because that's like, I would love to like see someone in like a costume.
And were your rows called like pods? Like I'm on pod 15.
The governor was
16.
quite literally. The mascot was quite literally someone in a governor's outfit. like a giant head with a big stovepipe hat and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. So,
Wow.
Yeah. A&M just has a dog.
We do.
Okay.
It's a dog. It's
I'm
royalty.
sorry.
It's like a regent. It's
I
like the
know.
regent of A&M. If this dog barks
I'm sorry.
in class, that whole class gets to just get out. Everybody gets
Yeah.
to leave. There's special rules around this. If the dog hops on its caretaker's bed, that person has to leave their bed and go sleep somewhere else. The dog is now claimed. It's a regent.
Okay.
Yeah, this is reveille.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not one of the
sorry.
schools I've been to has been that to their mascot.
Yeah, A&M's all about tradition.
My school. Yeah. Well, yeah. A&M is all about so much tradition there. My school had a kangaroo for a while until it died. I think in the early 90s.
Oh, that's too
And
bad.
it actually lived outside the dorm that housed most of the male athletes. Like it was a male's, men's dorm, but definitely the athletes dorm. And so you couldn't really tell that there was a kangaroo. Like I understand the smell didn't bother anyone because like it already smelled like, young male athletes.
So Axe body
I
spray.
don't know.
Is
Like
that what
Roku.
kangaroos? Is that what kangaroos smell like?
Well, this was pre-Axe body spray,
Oh, okay.
so it probably smelled even worse.
Gotcha.
Then
Yeah.
it would have smelled like poo pudding.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, man. I'm like, I miss the dorms. That's something I miss, like that community of a dorm. Okay, but see, I wonder if like a woman's dorm with was different than a guy's dorm.
Yeah.
Oh, I was never in the dorms.
Oh, you missed out,
Yeah.
Bill. You missed
I was
out.
in the dorms for 2 years.
No.
It is an experience for sure.
It teaches
Sharing
you a lot about
space and a bathroom and
boundaries, cleaning, all kinds of fun lessons learned.
that is, yes. Not moving your bed on a Friday night while your roommate is out drinking. Don't recommend that. That I will be on. Well, actually, we're gonna pretend like I was just drinking Coke, like just having a soda. But it was like the first weekend after classes started my freshman year, and I was in this tiny dorm room, and the beds were like designed to be against the wall. Like that was the only way that you could walk around. And I left and I went to a party and I drank some soda and I came home and my roommate had moved her bed from parallel to the wall to perpendicular to the wall. And it essentially like took the entire space. And I was trying to be the nice roommate and not turn the light on, but there wasn't supposed to be a bed there. And so I walked right into her bed and I woke her up and then she was mad at me. And I was like, you like, I'm not a victim blamer usually, but like you put your bed in the middle of the floor. So, but yeah, it's college.
I think there's blame to go around. Blame enough to go around. Yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah. Like I could have had it. Well, I was like, this was pre, flashlights on cell phones. This was pre cell phones. So like, there wasn't even that like using just the cell phone light just to get enough. Man, back to like technology changes.
Yep.
I know. Yeah.
Limited
How did we
indeed.
ever survive?
I know.
Yeah.
I can remember black and white televisions and vinyl records.
Oh yeah.
And on the advent of the CD.
My first CD was Milli Vanilli, so I'm not even sure if it counts like a CD. Because it wasn't really them singing it. So does it count? I don't know.
But it possibly would have really been whoever it was who was actually singing.
Yeah, that was true. I just don't know who. I can't remember who that was. But
No,
Milli Vanilli, that was my first. That was my first CD.
Okay.
I'm not sure how I feel about that now as an adult, but it's okay. So, um,
Yeah, I remember a world without the internet.
yes, it was both magical and terrifying.
Yeah. How did we ever?
My
How did we ever figure these things out it's like if we didn't know something, I mean, how did we know before? How did we figure it out before Google? You know?
Your parents made up answers, right? Didn't they? Weren't they your source of your knowledge, and they
Sure.
just made up the answers, and you took that as law,
yeah.
wrong or right?
We also
No.
in my house we had the World Book Encyclopedia,
Yeah.
and we got new ones every like 4 years, I think. Like they
No, we
because
kept
new
the same
information.
ones. We kept the same ones. I don't remember ever getting a new set of encyclopedias.
And
we
that's
were
where the
fancy
flat
then.
Earth movement
They-
began. Was actually
They were
old
libraries.
Mhm.
Libraries and card catalogs. Remember, like you had
Yep.
to in the Dewey Decimal System.
Yeah.
Chad, hush your mouth. Chad is a little younger than we are. He had slightly different.
I am the oldest in this crowd. So
yeah, I had that perfect, I think, because like my childhood was very analog. I got my first email address my senior year of high school, and then I got my first cell phone my senior year of college. So like I had this really kind of lovely, like I had technology. I learned how to use all of it. And also there's no like digital footprint of my childhood or adolescence or college years.
Oh, while there's not a digital footprint of my childhood, there is a footprint of my childhood. It now occupies quite a bit of space in my parents' house.
I thought you were going to say like you were really big into footprint art, Bill, and so you have a lot of footprints around your parents' home, framed.
That would be an interesting art collection.
That would be rather niche, as they say.
Yes. Which I'm going to bring this back around to like Chad and I meeting. Was one of the first pictures I posted on Instagram was from a youth group Bible study, and a bunch of us had our feet all in one place in a picture, and I took a picture of it, and I said something about like feet along with Bible study, and my Instagram was not private. And apparently when you hashtag feet on Instagram, creepy people come and comment on your pictures.
Yes.
So
I can imagine.
Oh my God.
Yeah, pretty much. And that was the moment that my Instagram went private. Because I didn't really need like a random dude talking about feet. Yeah, it was not a
hard lesson.
Anyway, so that's where. Yeah, but I learned to like.
Yeah,
it's okay to keep things to yourself. Yes, it is not something I recommend because people will comment.
Yep. Oversharing is a thing, and there is a rule regarding anything you can put on the internet. And,
somebody will,
how someone out there somewhere will react to it.
Yes, and that can be awesome, right? We can learn from that, and also we can
hopefully we learn from that.
Yeah.
And not the kind of scar you can make a cool tattoo of.
Right. But like there's also really cool things like chimpanzees riding on segways on the internet.
Yeah.
Which I think I've gotten that video approximately 10 times from Chad. It's the birthday video he sends every year. And it is literally a chimpanzee in overalls riding on a Segway. And the song goes something along the lines of chimpanzee riding on a Segway, chimpanzee riding on a Segway. And it just goes on like that. And it's the the greatest gift every year is when Chad
Bill,
sends you your birthday chimpanzees.
Bill, as you know, if you
What?
get so many friends, so many points of contact, you want to honor people's life, but you can't afford to. We do that with presents in our culture, but oftentimes, if you have this many people and that you're connected to, you can't afford that many gifts. And so this is what I can afford.
There are only so many hours in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so Chad's gift to everyone is a video of a chimpanzee riding on a Segway that makes me laugh every year. Every time I get it, I laugh.
Yeah.
And every time I think of chimpanzees or Segways, I think of Chad. And so
there's this guy who wrote the song Chimpanzee Riding on a Segway. Yeah, his name is Perry Grip. All right, and he writes children's songs. And he puts them on YouTube, and in fact, he's even on like some sort of Netflix show as well, it turns out. But he has mastered the earworm. He's mastered the right, song construction to get it stuck in your head for 24 hours. Well, that's Perry Grip. That's his spiritual gift.
That is quite the gift.
Is it a
gift?
I
hope he uses powers for good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's debatable. I don't know how he's using them. I mean, I know how he's using them, but I don't know if they're for good or not.
It's a fine line there with an earworm that that because now I'm going to be singing that song for the rest of the day.
You're right. Yeah,
it is now stuck in my head forever.
Yeah, Bill, do you have one of those songs? Do you have like one of those like loops that like once it catches you, there is no escape?
Not that I can think of right off, anyway.
Okay, well I'll send you one.
I used to know a young lady who was that way with Jay Giles' Centerfold.
Oh yes.
Yeah. I also like Mbop by Hanson. Mbop, ba doo up, did up, ba doo up, bye. Yeah, I'm sorry. I mean, I can do the whole thing. It's a problem. It's is it a problem? I don't know. It's talent, maybe, that I know ridiculous song lyrics. And the best part of my knowledge of song lyrics is that I get to annoy my children with them, because anytime we're in the car and the radio's on, before the actual lyrics start, I will just speak them to my children. The first line or two of the song, and they always go, ugh. And that's how I know I'm a good mom, is because I make my kids roll their eyes.
Are you hoping it's like a call and response situation in your car? Are you giving them a line so they can sing it back to you? Is that what you're trying to do?
No, it's actually, I'm trying to show them that I am cool and I know all the song lyrics to all the songs.
Gotcha.
I don't think it's working.
Yeah. It's tough with like Nicki Minaj, when she gets into her flow, I'm sure it's a little tougher. Or Vanilla Ice.
I mean, that's why I stop, collaborate, and listen. Ice is back with my brain. Sorry. Oh, what about Cyndi Lauper with Girls Just Want to Have Fun? That's a great song, too.
I knew that was coming.
It is a great song.
You brought up Vanilla Ice first.
Another bet payoff. Another bet payoff, Bill. But we had to do a lip sync battle, me and Amanda, for the youth, and she dominated. I totally forgot the Girls Want to Have Fun lyrics, and she had to come up and save me.
I did. I walked like on the stage and performed with him. Yep. But I have to say, like, my rendition of Ice Ice Baby was pretty flawless too.
Clutch. Yeah.
So yeah, like it's
Bill, what's your karaoke song? What's your karaoke song of choice?
I don't. I've actually had my my microphone turned off on me before during karaoke. So
what song was that?
That's impressive.
You know what? I don't remember. It was on a cruise that a friend of mine and I went on, and after they turned the microphone off on me at karaoke, we spent the rest of our evenings at the piano bar, where it didn't matter how you sang.
There's And there's no
Because
microphone. They
there
can't
was
turn
no
it up.
microphone, and everybody sang just as badly as everybody else.
Just shout singing. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, we should just karaoke. We should all just have a big karaoke party, and Chad, no.
I won't remember the
Darn
lyrics
it.
on the spot.
But
Yeah,
they're on the screen.
I'll just give you the beatbox.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not a great singer, but I sure love to sing. And I think also, my son is going to murder me if he finds out that I say this about him. So when he was little, Carly Rae Jepsen, Call Me Maybe, like that was one of his favorite songs. And I have it in some playlists because it was his song. And he was in the back seat because I dropped his sister off. She was in the front seat. He didn't want to get out. And that song is playing, and he doesn't know that I can see him, or didn't realize I was paying attention to him through the rearview mirror. And he was singing along to it. He's this 14-year-old boy. And his last day of 8th grade, I turned that song on when we were driving to school, and he and I, we sang it. I mean, it was not there were the full volume singing. And those are the things that bring me such joy with my kids, is being goofy like that and watching my 14-year-old boy who thinks he is so cool sing Call Me Maybe with his mom driving to school.
I'm foreseeing in his future at his wedding of, y'all's first dance actually being more like y'all's first lip sync to this song together. And that being
I should let you know that we actually have a car dance choreography to that song.
You're ready. It's already ready.
Ready. We just have to sit. We'll just have to chairs. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool.
But there's a whole, yeah. It'll be it'll hopefully be at least, 10 or so years at least. Yeah. I don't, yeah.
If you can't find a ring bearer, I'm sure I could train a chicken, put it in a diaper, to bring the ring down if you need me to.
Well, that's Jacob at my brother and sister-in-law and sister-in-law's wedding, he was the ring bear.
Right. Yeah. Classic.
Because he didn't understand bearer. He just thought bear. And at first he was disappointed that he did not get to dress up as a bear. And then just before we were supposed to go down the aisle with him, he threw the pillow into the sand. They were getting married on the beach. They threw the pillow in the sand and started running down the beach. And let me tell you that, me, not athletic, trying to catch a 4-year-old boy and running down the beach in sand, and me in a dress and him. Yeah.
Sounds pretty futile.
I'm so grateful. Yeah, it did not go well. But in the end, they were married and they were smart and did not put the real ring on the ring pillow that he was carrying. Anyone listening, that is key. Don't put the real ring. Yeah. Don't let a child or a dog or an ant, whatever, be in charge of. Yes. Yeah. Don't let the chicken, the chimpanzee, or the child, all the C's. Don't let the C's be in charge of the real ring. It's not going to end well. So
that's a handy tip.
Yeah. There you go. Chicken diapers from Walmart bags and not real rings on with the chickens, the chimpanzees, or the children. Yeah. There we go. I feel like we're full circle.
We are pretty much full circle, and we're almost to the 1.5-hour mark. So
was there anything you wanted us to talk about, Bill?
No, not in particular. No, my hope is that listeners get to learn about my guests in ways they wouldn't have otherwise learned about them. and so to make the show unique and whatnot, but also to promote things because that's part of why people go on podcasts is to promote their thing. And of course, Amanda is promoting thementalsociety.com and igniteyourbeacon.com.
Yes, those are the Mental Society is actually also a podcast, but the website is full of resources, like links to everything from veterans resources to resources for people with children with mental illness, as well as just random statistics and information about that kind of stuff. So yeah, and then the other is just that's if you want to know more about mental health coaching, check that out.
Well, I will put the links in the description so people can find them easily and find their way to your websites easily enough. And so they shall have no excuse for not visiting.
Exactly.
We shall hunt them down.
Yes. And then, and then I think like Chad has a really cool podcast too that they do. Yeah. It's
podcast.
What's the title?
Ours is the Tri-Faith podcast. And it's kind of capturing stories.
Tri-Faith podcast.
Yeah, it's capturing stories of people who living out their faith in a variety of ways, either in the church or outside the church. And we kind of try to capture some of those stories, kind of unique God moments, or just exploration of different Christian ideas of who our guests are. And we have a lot of fun around it as well. Play some games, try to stump Vince, and who's my co-host. And yeah, it's all about people. Kind of like yours, so. So.
Well, that's very cool. And where can people find the Tri-Faith podcast?
Wherever you listen to your podcast, Spotify, Apple. I just posted a website here in the chat.
So is it Tri-Faith, T-R-Y, Faith?
Yes, correct.
Yes.
Let's see, where is there's the chat. Sorry, very few people. Trifaith.org/podcast.
Yep, that takes you to our church website, which has the link to all those different things.
I will put that link in the description as well.
Thanks, Bill.
Awesome.
So people can find it.
So if you need some more chicken talk in your life, it may or may not be there.
Yeah. I feel like there has been some chicken talk on that podcast.
Maybe, yeah. We
who knows?
I always try to bring a good game to kick us off. And yeah, Vince is our worship leader in our church, and he's like the opposite of me. He's very much in the music realm, doesn't know anything about sports. We're complete opposites in a lot of ways, and so thanks for the banter. A lot of jabbing and poking of each other's lives. So it's great.
Yeah, they're both amazing human beings, so you should listen. They have some really awesome stories of people's faith journeys and struggles
that's very
too.
Cool.
So yeah,
pretty
awesome.
Yeah. Relatable things.
Yep.
Wonderful.
So.
Well, then as we wrap up, I will ask you both: do you have anything else to say? Do you have any final words for the nice people?
Chad, you know what I'm going to say? I always like to remind people that you are loved. Period.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just going to take. Yeah, man, good job. Listen to Amanda. That's my last word.
Listen to her. All right.
Oh, my kids that too.
Then I will say farewell. Thank you all for tuning in. Remember to wash your hands and stay tuned for the ending credits.
Thank you all for tuning in. This has been a presentation of Bald Spots Productions. I'd like to thank our producer, my beloved mother, Eileen Hatch.
I, of course, am your humble host.
I'd like to thank my special guests for today, Amanda Dolin and Chad the Dad.
Support the show if you feel so led over on patreon.com. We're known as Bald Spots Pro. Don't you dare miss YWL Online. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, and wherever fine podcasts are offered.
Be sure to tune in next time when my special guest will be Bonnie Stafford. Be sure to like, comment, and share. Subscribe, follow, whatever it is you've got to do to kick that algorithm into gear and help us reach more people.
If you or someone you know needs support now, call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org. That is the suicide and crisis lifeline here in the United States.